Dear students, am I audible?
Yes, sir, audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, today we are going to enter into the Unit 5 Quality Management System. In quality systems, we are going to discuss about the ISO standards and ISO principles and why we go for ISO and what they are doing with ISO and when we are going to implement ISO system, how they will be benefited. So this is what we are going to discuss in the today's class. So what are the importance of ISO and everything we are going to discuss. We are going to discuss in the today's class. Okay, first of all, we need to discuss about the introduction of quality system and the need for ISO and quality auditing and ISO 14000. Okay. Okay, these are all we are going to discuss in the today's class. The ISO 9000 certification is like approval of an organization by a bank, which does not mean that the organization cannot go bankrupt. So this is said by Philip Crosby. And ISO 9000 certification is a delusion that you can manage based on an information format. It is like putting a Bible in every hotel room with the thought that the occupants will act according to its contents. So this is said by also the Philip Crosby. So now let us enter into the introduction to quality system. So the quality system, it is learned that the essence of the number of quality definitions to provide companies operating system, so which promote conformance to specifications. Also, the ever increasing pressure to provide a better quality of products led to the adoption of the concept of quality system. So the definition of ISO is the International Organization for Standardization. The international, and this is the abbreviation for the ISO, the International Organization for Standardization. International Organization for Standardization defined the term quality system as follows. So the quality system is the organizational structure, responsibilities, procedures, processes, and resources for implementing quality management. Okay, the quality system is the organizational structure from top to bottom, and the responsibilities for all the hierarchical positions and the procedures what we are going to follow within that organization, and what are the process we are going to implement and monitor to ensure the quality, and the resources for implementing quality management, and what are the resources we have irrespective of all the categories like manpower, okay, and the facilities and infra, etc. So the quality system should function in such a manner as to provide proper confidence. That is, the system is well understood and effective. If the products or services actually do satisfy customer expectations, and the emphasis is placed on problem prevention rather than dependence on reduction or after occurrence. In short, a quality system involves how, who, when, where. We can ask these questions. Okay, the how methods and process descriptions, who responsibilities and authorities, when records and evidences. We need to create these or these things for these different questions, and where identification and traceability. Okay, these are all the important thing. Okay, this is the ISO International Organization of Standardization was founded in 1946 in Geneva, Switzerland. Okay, this ISO standard is to facilitate the exchange of goods and services and etc. worldwide. So ISO consists of more than 90 country members. Then ISO technical committee developed a series of international standards for quality system. So which was published in the year of 1987. The standards in ISO is ISO 9000, 9001, 9004. Nowadays, we are also having ISO 2014, etc. The ISO standard was increased year by year because of the quality. The continuous improvement is also monitored, and the continuous improvement is followed in the ISO also. Okay, the need for ISO and other quality system. Every organization is concerned with the quality of its product or service. To assure the quality, one has to ensure the quality. To ensure the quality, it is necessary to make quality assurance system. A sound quality assurance system requires well-defined quality system standards. The quality and standardization are the two essential prerequisites for an organization to market its products and services in the competitive business environment. In this, this quality begins with standards. Quality begins with standards. Also, the ever increasing pressure to provide better quality of products and services led to the development of quality standards. The reason for implementing a quality system that conforms to an ISO standard is user experience clearly indicates the several significant improvements in the following areas. One is improved employee involvement. Okay, definitely we will gain average 100%. Then improved housekeeping. So this is also 140% it will improve. And the improved decision making based on facts and data. So the average gain is 95%. Improved customer satisfaction. Here the gain is 55%. And improved safe working. The gain is 45%. And reduced customer complaints 40%, reduced inspection efforts 45%, and reduced quality cost 50%. These are all the important thing and reason for implementing a quality system that conforms to an ISO standard. Okay, the these are all the ISO 9000 series of standards. So before enter into this, so we shall discuss the objectives of ISO 9000 quality system. Okay, there are five objectives of ISO 9000 quality systems. So that are to achieve, maintain, and seek to continuously improve product, service, quality in relationship to requirements. So this is the first objective: to achieve, maintain, and seek to continuously improve product, service, quality in relationship to requirements. And second objective of the ISO 9000 quality system is to improve the quality of operations, to continually meet the customers and stakeholders stated and implied needs. And third point is to improve confidence to internal management and other employees that quality requirements are being fulfilled and that improvement is taking place. And the fourth important objective is to provide confidence to customers and other stakeholders that the quality requirements are being achieved in the desired product. And the final objective of the ISO 9000 quality system is to provide confidence that quality system requirements are fulfilled. These are all the five important objectives of the ISO 9000. Okay, so everywhere in ISO you can see there they will always continuously improve something that is a product or service or whatever it is. So it should be improved. Okay, and employee involvement. Okay, so the customer satisfaction. So these are all important points of the ISO, and continuous improvement we need to showcase to the ISO at every time. The benefits of ISO 9000 certification. So organizers go for ISO 9000 certifications because of the benefits listed below. It forms a solid foundation for improvement, consistency, and profitability, and it provides good platform for continuous quality improvement. It provides a status symbol for the organization and act as powerful marketing tool. It increases the potential market share. It will improve the employee morale and ensure their total involvement. So similarly, it ensures customer satisfaction. It improves the documentation, operating standards, and housekeeping, and it will improve the perception of product quality. It increases the awareness of employees in company requirements and activities. So these are all important benefits of ISO 9000 certifications. when you own this ISO 9000 certifications in your industry or somewhere. Okay, these are all the important ISO 9000 series. ISO 9000 to 2005 quality management system, ISO 9001 to 2008. Again, it is a quality management system. ISO 9004 to 2000 quality management system. Okay, is three different types of quality management systems are used to improve the quality of the product, and it will be helpful to continuous improvement of any kind of product as well as services in the industry. Okay, this is ISO 9001, 9002, 9003, ISO 9001 design, development, production, installation, and servicing. And ISO 9002 is again taking care of the production, installation, and servicing. And ISO 9003 is inspection and testing. It is used for. And ISO 9004 provides guidelines on the technical, administrative, and human factors affecting the product or services. These are all the important thing of ISO 9000 series of standards.
Hello, friends. In our day-to-day life, keep on listening about ISO standards. The most
So now
relevant
you
found
just
is
see what is
ISO
ISO and why
9001
we go for
2015.
ISO and what are
The
the
questions that you need
standards
to
are
align on. What is
available in the
ISO
ISO.
standard? Why it's important to companies. How it impacts our perspective of looking at products manufactured by ISO certified companies. How one should get ISO certificate. In this video, we are going to learn the basics of ISO standards. Get an answer to all of these questions. Watch this video till the end. So, let's begin. Let's start with what is ISO. ISO is an international standard setting body. Founded on February 23, 1947, the organization promotes worldwide proprietary, industrial, and commercial standards. It is headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland, and works in 164 countries worldwide. It is an independent, non-governmental organization. ISO has three membership categories. The first one is member bodies. There are currently 121 standard bodies from each country as full members. They participate and vote in ISO technical and policy meetings. They can sell and adopt ISO international standards nationally. The second category is correspondent members. There are 39 correspondent members. They do not have their own standards organization. These members can only observe ISO technical and policy meetings. Correspondent members can also sell and adopt ISO international standards nationally. The third category is subscriber members. ISO has 4 subscriber members. These are countries with small economies. These members keep up to date on ISO's work but cannot participate. They do not sell or adopt ISO international standards nationally. More than 20,000 standards have been set by ISO, covering everything from manufactured products and technology to food safety, agriculture, and healthcare. Some of the popular standards developed by ISO are ISO 9001 for quality management. ISO 9001 is the world's best-known quality management standard. This standard ensures that goods and services consistently meet the customer's requirements. ISO 45001 for occupational health and safety management. This standard focuses on reducing workplace hazards and make sure that everyone gets home safely. ISO 14001 for environmental management. This standard focuses on improving your environmental performance. It provides assurance to management, employees, and stakeholders that the environmental impact of the company is being measured and improved. ISO 22000 for food safety management. It ensures that the food that we eat is safe. It focuses on the highest level of food safety throughout the entire life cycle of food. ISO 27001 for information security management. This standard focuses on providing security for any kind of digital information. It helps an organization manage the security of assets such as financial information, intellectual property, employee data, and information, etc. It is a systematic approach to managing information that is considered sensitive and of significant value to a business. Now that we understand what ISO is, let's understand why it's needed. ISO was founded with the idea of answering the fundamental question: what is the best way of doing this? International standards mean that consumers can have confidence that their products are safe, reliable, and of good quality. The standards help businesses increase productivity while minimizing errors and waste. The standards also serve to safeguard consumers and the end users of products and services, ensuring that the certified products conform to the minimum standards set internationally. ISO international standards touch everyone. From enabling you to use your bank card overseas to ensuring your child's toys don't have sharp edges, they are used everywhere. Followed by companies all over the world, ISO standards provide specifications to ensure products and services work the way you expect them to. For companies in some industries, ISO certification may be required by law or contractually. Below are some of the many benefits of conforming to ISO standards. Saving time and money by identifying and solving recurring problems. Improving system and process efficiency. Increasing customer satisfaction. Being more competitive when tendering for contracts. Getting more value out of all resources. Boosting your credibility in the eyes of your customers. Improving environment health. Improving employee health and satisfaction, etc. The important term under ISO, IAF, with a tagline of certified once, accepted everywhere, International Accreditation Form, IAF, provides accreditation to organizations in various countries. IAF ensures that the organizations are competent to do the work they undertake and are not subject to conflicts of interest. IAF established mutual recognition arrangements, known as Multilateral Recognition Arrangements or MLA, between its accreditation body. MLA covers all accreditation bodies in all countries in the world. This eliminates the need for companies to be certified in each country where they work. Accreditation bodies. Accreditation bodies are recognized by IAF and signatory of MLA. They ensure that certification bodies, CV, are following ISO standards and accredit CVs. There are around 120 accreditation bodies worldwide. Certification body, CV. Certification bodies are accredited by the accreditation body to perform audits and issue certificates of conformance to qualifying companies. Let's understand the difference between accreditation and certification. Accreditation, license provided to certification bodies to perform the certification audits and issue the certificates, is called accreditation. So, the certification body gets accreditation. There is usually only one accreditation body for each country. Certification, it is a certificate issued to a company by certification body stating that a company is compliant with the standard. Now let's look at the steps to get ISO certification. The important thing to note here is ISO develops international standards, such as ISO 9001 and ISO 14001, but they are not involved in providing certification and do not issue certificates. You can read this information by visiting the ISO's official website. The certification process is performed by external certification bodies, also known as CV. Thus, a company or organization cannot be certified by ISO itself. Now let's take a look at the hierarchy that is being followed in order to get certified. ISO is an organization that develops standards. Then IAF provides accreditation to standard bodies as an accreditation body. Certification bodies are accredited by the accreditation body. They perform audits and issue certificates of conformance to qualifying companies. Steps in getting ISO certificate. The first step is choosing the type of ISO certification. You will need to choose the type of ISO certification required for your business. If you are into the manufacturing sector, you can go for popular certification like ISO 9001 for quality management, ISO 14001 for environmental management, or ISO 45001 for health and safety management. Food businesses can go for ISO 22000 for food safety management, and so on. The second step is choosing an ISO certification body. It is very important that you choose a certification body which is recognized and credible. When choosing a certification body, you should identify the national standard body in your country recognized by IAF. For example, in India, it is a National Accreditation Board for Certification Bodies, or NABC. Evaluate several certification bodies accredited by the NABC. For example, in India, TÜV, Bureau Veritas, BSI, URS, ENV.GL, and SGS are some of the well-known certification bodies accredited by NABC. Accreditation is not compulsory, but it does provide independent confirmation of competence. To find an accredited certification body, contact the national accreditation body in your country or visit the International Accreditation Forum. Choose CVs that are reputed and experienced to provide a certificate in your type of industry. You will find a link in the description below to a website where you can find APs and CVs in your country simply by typing a few keywords in the search box. The third step is to create an application. The applicant or company and the CV should agree on a contract. This contract usually defines the rights and obligations of both parties, and it includes liability issues, confidentiality, and access rights. The fourth step is the documents review. The ISO auditor will review all your manuals and documents related to various policies and procedures. A review of existing work will help the ISO auditor to identify the possible gaps against the requirements specified in the ISO standards. The fifth step is to make an action plan. After the ISO auditor communicates the existing gaps in your organization, You should prepare an action plan to eliminate these gaps. You may be required to give training to your employees to work efficiently while adapting to new procedures. Make all the employees aware of the ISO standards in terms of work efficiency and quality standards. The sixth step is an initial certification audit. The initial certification audit is divided into two categories, Stage 1 and Stage 2. In Stage 1, the ISO auditor will audit the changes made by you and the company. They will then try to identify the possible nonconformities in your systems and procedures. They will then categorize it as minor or major nonconformities. The company must carefully assess all these nonconformities and correct it as per the desired standards for modification. In Stage 2, after all the required changes are done in the organization, the ISO auditor does the final auditing. The auditor will check whether all the nonconformities have been eliminated or not as per ISO standards. If the ISO auditor is satisfied, they will prepare the final ISO audit report and forward it to the certification body. The seventh step is completing the ISO certification. Once the nonconformities are addressed and all the findings are put in the ISO audit report, the CB will grant you the ISO certification. The format of the certificate will be like this and is valid for 3 years. Surveillance audits. Surveillance audit is basically conducted to ensure that ISO quality standards are being maintained by the organization. Usually, it is conducted once a year. Let's look at the cost involved in the ISO certification process. The cost for getting ISO certification is not fixed and varies from organization to organization. The certification body calculates the cost of ISO certification separately for each organization. It is based on number of employees, number of processes, level of risk associated with the scope of services of the organization, complexity of the management system, and the number of working days and shifts, etc. The common misunderstanding about ISO certification is it requires a lot of documentation. The truth is, ISO does require documentation, but it does not emphasize creating new documents or procedures which are not required in the process. You should have a documented procedure of what you are always doing, and you must do what you have documented. All processes must follow the Plan, Do, Check, Act cycle, also known as PDCA cycle, invented by them. To simplify the process of getting ISO certificate, Learn and Apply plays an important role. Our expert consultant in the field of ISO certification has developed a dedicated roadmap. It makes the process of getting certified extremely easy and seamless. To know more about ISO certification service, please get back to us by visiting.
Guys, I think you have a better understanding of why ISO is very much essential and required, and why we need to go for ISO, and what are the benefits of ISO when we implement ISO in industry or any organization or institute level. So we will get enormous benefits when we go with ISO because everything is going to be standardized, and the monitoring process will be always happen in ISO. In yearly 3 to 4 times the monitoring process and audit, and each and everything is going to be verified when we have the ISO process. So everything is going to be a systematic one. Okay, the document will not be dumped or work is not going to be dumped because of the continuous monitoring, and when we going to standardize each and every process in the industry or organization or anything, so everything is going to be systemized. So the monitoring process will be simplified, and the work is also simplified, and the effective employees utilization will happen, and each and every work will be carry on time because of the ISO. So the benefit of ISO standards, the achievement of internal standard of quality, and the value for money, customer satisfaction, higher productivity, increased product profitability, then improved corporate image, and then access to global market, and growth of the organization, and higher moral of employees. So these are all important benefits. And next is causes elements of ISO 9000. During the year 1987, the management responsibility is adequate resources for the verification activities and need for trained personnel, and the work and verification activities including audits, a management representative to be identified, and review the quality system performance and customer complaints periodically. So the adequate resources for the verification activities, because we need to have all the documentation, and whatever we have done, everything is going to be documented. It is going to be verified, and we will have some trained personnel for maintaining all the documents, to understanding all the procedures of the ISO system. And the verification activities is going to be carried during the audits. For example, if any one of the colleges have ISO, so semester two times we will have the ISO auditing in internal, start of the semester and end of the semester, as well as in the end of the semester we will have the external audit process to ensure whether we have move on the right direction, whether we have a continuous improvement, and everything is going to be get to know through the ISO. And next is a quality system is also monitored, and contract review, design control, document control, and purchase, supply product. Everything is going to be verified. And the another causes of ISO 9000 is product identification and traceability is going to be produced, created. The process control is also is going to be produced, and inspection and testing, inspection, measuring and test equipment, inspection and test status, control of non-conforming product, corrective actions, handling, storage, packaging, and delivery. For example, when auditor is going to do a audit, when they find is there any non-conformance, that is called as NC. When they got NC, so their corrective actions would be carried uh, before to the next audit visit of the committee. So whenever we got NC, so we need to do a corrective actions to control the NC, and the NC should not be repeated in the future also. Handling and storage, packaging and delivery, everywhere it's inspected, and the auditing is going to be carried. And the quality record is also verified. And internal quality audits, as I said, every month, or for example, industry means every month or once in a 2 months it will be happen. And the training is going to be provided to the person, those who lack in some particular skills, the new technologies, the implemented new technologies used in the industry. So some of the persons may not have the required skills. So during that time, we need to provide the training for the employees. And the servicing should be uh, in a very good and effective manner, and customers should be satisfied with the services of the product when they got any failure or breakdown, etc. Next is the statistical techniques we need to use to increase the product quality as well as the servicing. And another thing of the ISO causes, that is elements of ISO 9000 during the year 2000, is scope and normative reference terms and conditions, quality management system, that is general requirements, documentation, management responsibilities, management commitment. Because when we have management commitment, so that particular time only we can able to achieve the target what our management is given to us. So the management commitment is very much important, and they will also monitor whether their employees is going to fulfill their commitments or not. So this would be monitored. And the customer focus on the particular work assigned to them, and quality policy they need to follow, and the planning of any kind of product on productivity rate and product qualities, everywhere they should plan, and responsibility of each and every person is going to be taught to them. And next is authority and communication is will be in effective and very good manner. And then finally the management review is going to be happen for each and every employees. Next is the resource management, the provision of resources, human resources, infrastructure, and work environment. Because of having these different kind of resources, only we can able to achieve the target or their management, top level management commitment. So otherwise, we will not achieve anything. So the resources is very much essential to achieve the task assigned to us. Okay, and next is um, human resources. In human resources, we will have the general and the competence and awareness and training. In human resource in general, the personal performing work affecting product quality shall be competent on the basis of appropriate education, training, skills, and experience, and determine the necessary competence for personal performing work affecting product quality, and they provide training or take the other actions to satisfy these needs, and evaluate the effectiveness of the actions taken. Okay, next is infrastructure. The organization shall determine provide and maintain the infrastructure needed to achieve conformity to product requirements. And the infrastructure is also includes applicable like buildings, workspace, and associated facilities, process equipment, both hardware and software, supporting services such as transport or communication. And the work environment is the organization shall determine and manage the work environment needed to achieve a conformity to product requirements. Product realizations, planning of product realization. Okay, the planning of product realization is the organization shall plan and develop the process needed for product realization. Planning of product realization shall be consistent with the requirements of other processes of the quality management systems. In planning product realization, the organization shall determine the following as appropriate. So that is the quality objectives and requirements for the product. The need established process, documents, and provide resources specific to the product and record verification, validation, monitoring, inspection, and test activities. So etc. So we need to conduct everything and records needed to provide evidence that the realization process and the resulting product meeting requirements. The next one is the customer related processes. So in this case, a determination of requirements related to the product from the customer is going to be identified. So the requirements is specified by the customers, including the requirements for delivery and post-delivery activities. Requirements not stated by the customer but necessary for specified or intended use or where no is going to be identified. And the statutory or regulatory requirements related to the product is also identified. And any additional requirements determined by the organization is also going to include it. Okay, and these are all the important point. And the uh, next thing is the design and development. The organization shall plan and control the design and development of product. During the design and development planning, the organization shall determine first one is the design and development stages. How many stages the design and development process is going to happen to complete the final or end product. Then review, verification, and validation the appropriate to each design and development stage is going to be taken care. And responsibilities and authorities for design and development is also going to taken. The organization shall manage the interfaces between different groups involved in design and development to ensure effective communication and a clear assignment of responsibility. A planning output shall be updated as appropriate as the design and development processes. And next is purchasing. Purchasing process, the organization shall ensure the purchased product conforms to specified purchase requirements. Like the type and extent of control applied to the supplied and the purchased product shall be dependent upon the effect of purchased product on subsequent product realization or the final product. Okay, because of this, the organization shall evaluate the selected suppliers based on their ability to supply the product in accordance with the organizational requirements. The criteria for selection, evaluation, and re-evaluation shall be established in this case. Similarly, the purchase information and verification of purchased product, everything is going to be taken care in this system. And next is production and service provision. With the control of production and service production, the is the first thing, and validation of processes for production and service production, and identification and traceability, mm, and customer property and preservation of product. These are all important point in the production and service provision. Okay, the organization shall plan and carry out production and services provisions under controlled conditions. The controlled conditions shall include as applicable like the availability of information that describes the characteristics of the product, and another one is the availability of work instructions as necessary, and the use of suitable equipment, the availability and use of monitoring and measuring devices, the implementation of monitoring and measurement, the implementation of release, delivery, and post-delivery activities. Okay, everything is going to be considered in this case. And finally, the control of monitoring and measuring devices. This is also another important thing. The organization shall determine the measuring determine the monitoring and measurement to be undertaken the monitoring and measuring devices. So that is needed to provide evidence of conformity of product to determine requirements. The organization shall establish process to ensure that the monitoring and the measurement can be carried out and carried out in a manner that is consistent with the monitoring and the measurement requirements. These are all important classes of ISO 9000 when it was implemented, the year of the 2000, during the year 2000. So these are all the things was planned. Before implementing the ISO, so the team should have the brainstorming sessions with the top level management, those who desire to implement the ISO in their industry or educational institute or wherever it is. And they should have the proper resources and infra and all facilities and employees as well as. So when we will have these things only, we can able to implement the ISO in 100% effective manner. So otherwise, it is not possible to implement anything. Hey guys, okay, thank you very much for your presence. If you have any doubt, you can ask me.